Welcome to Bethelmatics Academy. So today in this video, I want to show you how to solve one linear, one quadratic kind of simultaneous equations. So we're going to be taking two examples to illustrate this topic very well. So this is example 1. We are given 2x minus 1 equals to 1 and x squared plus y equal to 7. How do we know that a simultaneous equation is one linear, one quadratic? For example, look at this very question. In equation 1, you have 2x minus y equal to 1. The power of x here is 1. The power of y here is 1. It is a linear kind of equation. Then in equation 2, the power of x here is 2. The power of y here is 1. So because the power of x here is 2, it is a quadratic kind of equation. So this is linear. Equation 1 is linear and equation 2 is quadratic. So solving it is very simple. I'm going to guide you through the process as we solve it together. So let's get started. So how to solve this kind of problem is you identify the linear equation. From the linear one, make one of the variable the subject of the formula. Then you substitute whatever it gives you into the second equation. And then solve whatever you have quadratically, either by factorization method. So I can say from equation 1, we have that 2x minus y is equal to 1. I want to make y the subject. Yes, so this is equation 1, which is the same thing with this. So I want to make y the subject of this formula. So I'm going to take this is minus y. I'm going to cross it over this side. It becomes plus y. This is 1. Bring it inside here. It becomes minus 1. So this becomes 2x minus 1 equal to y. So I can rewrite this as y is equal to 2x minus 1. I didn't change anything. I just kind of rotated the equation. Okay, so therefore I have had y is equal to 2x minus 1 as the subject of y. So I'm now going to substitute this into equation 2. So all I need to do is to replace y with all of this in equation 2. So I'm now going to substitute this into equation 2, replacing y with this expression. So I can say substituting for y in equation 2. So in equation 2, we have x squared plus, instead of me to write y, I will now write y is equal to 2x minus y. I will now write 2x minus 1. So 2x minus 1 equal to 7. Okay, so here the next thing I'm going to do is to collect like terms. This is minus 1, this is 7. So this becomes x squared plus 2x minus 1. I'll bring in this 7 inside, become minus 7 equal to 0. Okay, so simplifying what we have, x squared, this is plus 2x plus 2x. This is minus 1 minus 7. Minus 1 minus 7 will give us minus 8. Minus 8 equal to 0. So this is a typical quadratic equation. So what I'm going to do next is to solve by factorization method, or any other method you choose. But let me solve this with factorization method. Okay, so solving by factorization method, I'm going to use this minus 8 to multiply x squared. So rough work, I have minus 8x squared. Then here I have plus 2x. So the next thing to do here is to look for two numbers that when you multiply them together, you get minus 8. And when you add those two numbers together or subtract them, you get plus 2. Okay, so the two numbers that will give us this result will be plus 4x and minus 2x. So of course, plus 4x times minus 2x. Plus times minus will give us minus. 4 times 2 will give us 8. X times x will give us x squared. So it means that when you multiply these two numbers, you are going to get this. Now let's add these two numbers and see what we are going to get. Plus 4x. Okay, we're adding plus bracket minus 2x. So So this is something as plus 4x plus times minus is minus 2x. So this is like saying 4x minus 2x. So this will give us plus 2x. So these two numbers works perfectly, and we're going to use plus 4x and minus 2x to replace this number here at the center. So this becomes x squared. So instead of me to write plus 2x, I will now write plus 4x minus 2x, then minus 8 equal to 0. What we needed to do was to replace the term at the center here with plus 4x and minus 2x. Then we still bring down minus 8 equal to 0. This is how to solve quadratic equation by factorization method. So the next thing, I'm going to factorize in pairs. This is x squared. So I'm going to factorize this with this, and then this with this. So this is x squared, this is 4x. What is common between this and this is x. So I'm going to bring out the x, open bracket, what remains here is x, plus what remains here is 4. Of course, x times x will give us x squared, and x times plus 4 will give us plus 4x. And then come to this other place. This is minus is here, minus is here. I'm going to first of all factorize minus sign. Then 2 is here, 8 is here. If 2 go into 8, you have 4. So 2 can divide 8. I also factor out 2. Then open bracket. What remains here is x. Then instead of me to put minus, because minus is here, I have factored that minus sign. I'm going to now bring in plus. Then what remains here is 4 equal to 0. Let's test if we are correct. Minus 2 times x will give us minus 2x. Minus times plus will give us minus. So if we had put minus here, would have been wrong by now. So then 2 times 4 will give us 8. So this is perfect. One thing that will enable you to know that you are correct is this term here and this term here in bracket must be the same thing. Once they are the same thing, then you know your process is correct. You have something like ax plus bx. If you're asked to factorize this, of course, x is common. We are going to bring out x. What remains here is a, plus what remains here is b. So the same thing, I'm going to apply it here. I'm going to treat the whole of this like my x, treat the whole of this like my x here. So if I bring it out, whatever that remains will now be inside the bracket. So this becomes x plus 4 outside the bracket. So what remains here is what? X. And what remains here is what? Minus 2. So this is equal to 0. The next thing to do, for two products to be equal to 0, it means that either x plus 4 is equal to 0. And if this is true, then x will be equal to minus 4. This is plus 4. If it crosses here, it becomes minus 4. Or the second term here is x minus 2 is equal to 0. Then x is equal to, if this is minus 2, if it crosses the equal sign, it becomes 2. That is plus 2. Because whenever you are solving quadratic equation, you are going to have two answers. So the first answer is this, and the second answer is this. So we have gotten two values of x is equal to minus 4 and x is equal to 2. So we're going to use these two values to find the corresponding values of y. Mind you, we are solving simultaneous equation that is one linear, one quadratic. We are going to have two values for y and two values for x. So let's begin with this. So we're going to use equation 1. Equation 1 says 2x minus y is equal to 1. This is what equation 1 says. 2x minus 1 is equal to 1. So I'm now going to come here and say when x is equal to minus 4. So when x is equal to minus 4, I will just substitute minus 4 here. So this implies that 2 bracket minus 4 minus y is equal to 1. So 2 times minus 4 will give us minus 8 minus y equal to 1. So making y, collecting like terms, this becomes that minus y is equal to 1 plus 8. This is minus 8. If it crosses equal sign, it becomes plus 8. So that minus y is equal to 1 plus 8 is what? 9. So what I'm going to do next to remove this minus sign here is to divide both sides by minus 1, and then y will give us minus 9. That is the corresponding value of y when s is equal to minus 4. Then we're also going to solve again when x is equal to 2. When s is equal to 2, then this implies that 2 brackets, when s is equal to 2, I go back to this equation 1, 2 bracket x. So instead of me to write x now, I will write 2. Then minus y equal to 1. So 2 times 2 is 4, minus y equal to 1. Next thing is to collect like terms, so that minus y is equal to 1 minus 4. This is plus 4. If it goes across equal sign, it becomes minus 4. All right, so this implies that minus y is equal to 1 minus 4 will give us minus 3. So the next thing to do, minus 1 is equal to minus 3. The next thing to do is to divide it by minus 1, divided by minus 1. So that minus 1 will cancel that minus. So that y is equal to, minus will cancel that minus 2. So y is equal to 3. So in conclusion, when x is equal to, when s is equal to minus 4, y is equal to minus 9. And when x is equal to 2, y is equal to, when s is equal to 2, we solve all this and then realize that y is equal to 3. So this becomes our conclusion. So this becomes our conclusion for the one linear, one quadratic simultaneous equation. So let's take example 2. All right, so this is example number 2. We are going to proceed similarly the way we solved example number 1. So we can say from equation 1, because equation 1 is the one that is linear. It does not have any power on x and y. So from equation 1, we want to make y the subject. So making y the subject here, of course, you can also choose to make s the subject. But making y the subject will be more easier, faster, because y does not have coefficient apart from the minus sign that is there. So this becomes, making y the subject, I'm going to take y outside, bring in 4 inside. It becomes 3x minus 4 is equal to y. So that means anywhere I see y in equation 2, look at y here in equation 2, I'm going to replace it with 3x minus 4. So this becomes, substituting y into equation 2. So this is why I'm going to be replacing it with 3x minus 4. We're going to be having s squared. So remember, this is minus. I'm going to put the minus there. Open bracket. This is 3x minus 4. 3x minus 4. And this is equal to 2. So this is s squared. Look at my s squared. Minus, look at my minus. So instead of writing this y, I wrote 3x minus 4. 3x minus 4 equal to 2. Equal to 2. The next thing is to simplify this equation. So this becomes x squared minus times 3x will give us minus 3x. Minus times minus will give us plus, then 4. Then this is equal to 2. So the next thing to do is to collect like terms. This is plus 2, this is plus 4. So this plus 2 will come inside, and then we're going to have it as minus 2. So this becomes s squared minus 3x plus 4 minus 2 equal to 0. The goal is to set it to look like a quadratic equation. So this is s squared minus 3x plus 4 minus 2 will give us plus 2 equal to 0. So I want to solve this quadratic equation by factorization method again. The next thing to do is to use this plus 2 to multiply x squared as a rough work, and plus 2 times x squared will give us plus 2x squared. Then this is minus 3x. So here we are looking for two numbers that when we multiply them, we get plus 2. And when we add them or subtract them, we get minus 3. So the two numbers that will give us that will be minus 2 and minus 1, because minus times minus will give us plus, and then 2 times 1 will give us 2. Then adding these two numbers together, minus 2 minus 1 will give us minus 3. So these two numbers solve our problem. The next thing to do is to attach x here, But remember, we don't write 1x. When our coefficient is 1, we don't write it. So I just clean it here, leaving the minus sign. So this is just minus x and minus 2x. So minus 2x minus x. If you multiply these two terms, you get plus 2x squared. And if you add these two terms, you get minus 3x. So I'm going to be replacing this central term here with minus 2x and minus x. So this becomes x squared. So instead of me to write minus 3x, I will now write minus 2x minus x. Minus 2x minus x. Then this is plus 2. This plus 2 here equal to 0. So the next thing to do is to factorize them in pairs. This and this will be factorized together. This and this will be factorized together. So let's proceed. So this is x squared. This is minus 2x. What is common here is x. So I bring out x outside, open bracket. What remains here will be x. And what remains here will be minus 2. Close your bracket. Then I come to this one. This is minus, this is plus. Of course, remember, what we have, in fact, one thing that should always guide you is that whatever is inside bracket here is what you must have in your next bracket. So writing minus 2, opening bracket, writing x minus 2 again equal to 0. So we can confirm if it is correct. Minus times x will give us minus x. Minus times minus will give us plus, and then 2. Perfect. So the next thing to do is to factorize this x minus 2 and x minus 2 out. So x minus 2 will come out. So what remains here is x minus. Since there is no number here, it means 1 is there. Invisible 1 is there, holding that position. So I'm going to put that 1 here. If you want to know if you are correct, you can decide to multiply back. So this bracket times this will give us this. And this bracket times this one here will also give us this. So we are very correct. Equal to 0. So since the product of these two terms is equal to 0, so it is either x minus 2 is equal to 0. So therefore that x is equal to 2. Bringing this minus 2 across the equal sign becomes plus. Or second term, x minus 1 is equal to 0. So that x is equal to, this is minus 1. If it crosses equal sign, it becomes plus 1. So we're having these two answers as our values of x. So we're going to use them to find the corresponding values of y. It is always easier to use the linear equation between the two equations. So I'm going to be using the linear one to get our corresponding values of y. So, but from equation 1, we have it to be that 3x minus y is equal to 4. 3x minus y is equal to 4. So I can now say when x is equal to, our first value of x is 2. So this implies that, I'll come back to this equation, I will substitute for x. 3 brackets 2 minus y is equal to 4. So 3 times 2 will give us 6 minus y is equal to 4. I'll collect like terms. Either I move minus y across the equal sign and bring in 4. So let me move y outside. This becomes 6. This is plus 4. If it comes inside, it becomes minus 4 is equal to, this is minus y. If it goes outside, it becomes y. So 6 minus 4 is 2. So it means that y is equal to 2. Now let's get the corresponding value of y when x is equal to 1. Okay, so when x is equal to 1, go back to equation 1, 3x minus y equal to 4. It becomes 3, instead of me to write x, I will write in bracket 1, then minus y equal to 4. 3 times 1 is 3, minus y equal to 4. So collecting like terms, this is 4, bring it inside, it becomes 3 minus 4. This is minus y, take it outside, it becomes equal to y. This is minus y, if you cross equal sign, it becomes plus y. So 3 minus 4 will give us minus 1 is equal to y. So therefore, it means that y is equal to minus 1. Wow. Conclusion, when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2. And when x is equal to 1, y is equal to minus 1. So I believe you have understood how to solve one linear, one quadratic simultaneous equation. So if you found this lesson interesting, do it to like the video and share with your friends. If you have not hit the subscription button and turned on your notification button, please do so that you can keep getting interesting lessons I'm going to be dropping right on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.